the clowns at Fox News decided to go after AOC because it's a day that ends in Y. Now, she recently announced that she's going to be paying her staffers more money. I mean, I honestly, I have no idea how anybody can object to that. It just seems like even people who are far right would say, oh, good for her. She's deciding to, you know, I don't know, look out for the people who do quite a bit for her in terms of writing the legislation and everything that's entailed with being a congressional staffer. But no, this has now been politicized in a way which will absolutely stun you and any reasonable person. Take a look.
Get a load of this, right? A tweet went out yesterday. She said leadership begins at home or whatever, however she put it. And she's basically announcing that she is going to redistribute the money appropriated to her congressional office to make sure that the entry-level staffers get a fair share of money. Now, let me show you the numbers here, right? She puts this out. She wants $52,000 for the entry-level staff salary for anyone in her office. Here's the problem. You've got to find a way to get money to pay the entry-level people, so she plans to take that from the chief of staff.
It's beautiful.
Senior staffers who would normally make $80,000 or normally make $154,000 for the chief of staff, probably only going to make about $80,000.
Every Capitol Hill office has a limited amount of money to pay their staff, right? So you have to decide how to allocate it. She said everyone in my office will pay a living wage, so I'm going to pay $15 an hour, which means your entry-level intern is making $52,000, while your chief of staff, who is a very important role in a congressional office, now is capped at $80,000, as opposed to the actual market rate at Capitol Hill, which is closer to $150,000. So everyone's between $52,000 and $80,000. It's actually socialism and communism on display.
Yeah, I mean, holy shit. We just found a contender for the dumbest person on Fox News. And that's a hard one to win. Holy shit. He said that's socialism and communism. Embarrassing. That's just simply embarrassing. I don't even know what to say about it. It's so embarrassing. So, listen, I actually happen to know Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff because he was a co-founder of Justice Democrats with me. His name is Shoykat Chakrabarti. He was a former Bernie Sanders top official in 2016, and now he's AOC's chief of staff. And so what they're describing there is, for other chiefs of staff, they would make $154,000 a year, but for AOC, the chief of staff is going to make $80,000 a year. And the entry level is now $52,000, and they're presenting it as if it's this like objectively bad thing. I got news for you. Shoykat is absolutely fine with that. 100%. And I'm sure he loves the fact that now entry-level people are going to be making $52,000 a year. Now, I don't know what goes in to being an entry-level staffer for a congressperson, but I'd imagine it's a whole hell of a lot. And I'd imagine $52,000 is actually probably what they should have been making all along, if not more. So, again, for them to take their really knee-jerk, reactionary, dumb opinions and just defend them no matter what and act like they're objectively right and that the chief of staff should get $154,000 and the entry-level people, interns, should get paid nothing or whatever the case was before. And by the way, they also botched the fact there. They made it seem like the $52,000 that the entry-level people are getting is $15 an hour. That's not $15 an hour, dipshit. That didn't occur to him that's not the same thing. The living wage is not $52,000. The living wage is a lot less than $52,000. But to me, it's amazing that here we have a story where seemingly even people who are not ideological allies to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and to the broader left-wing movement, it seems like an area where people would say, oh, good for you. Hey, you decided to make your pay structure a little different. You decided that perhaps, some of the entry-level people should get paid more than what they're currently being paid. And hey, if that means a little pay cut for somebody who's totally fine with it as chief of staff, cool. But no, they found a way to politicize this and act like somehow she's stupid, she's dumb, this is communism. What the fuck? There's no hope for these guys. You know what they are, man? Here's what they are. They are defenders of the established hierarchy and status quo. They are the ultimate rationalizers for how things are. So when you try to tell them, like, okay, let's try to improve society somewhat, they act like, oh, but things are the way they are, and they exist as they are now, so change it? Woo! How radical. But we can point to 1,000 things that are terrible. Whether it's poisoned water in a bunch of places around the country, including Flint, whether it's half of workers in this country making $30,000 a year or less, whether it's 76% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, whether it's one family, the Walton family, having more wealth than the bottom 45% of Americans combined. Meanwhile, they're a family of moocher babies who were just part of the good sperm club, so they got, the wealth passed down to them. These guys just take what is and defend it. So, all the really hardworking staffers get paid absolutely nothing on Capitol Hill? Is what it is, bro. That's not an argument for it. It's not an argument to say it is how it is, therefore totally fine. That's not a point. That's a non-point. It's Fox News, though. What do I expect? But, it's funny because in a weird way, it's actually like an ad for AOC, and they've done this time and time again, whether it's with Bernie or whether it's with others. They'll talk about something as if it's bad, but you look at like the graphics they put on screen and the things they're saying, and you're like, most people are going to watch this and go, oh, that makes perfect sense. Now, the Fox News viewers, many of them are too far gone, don't get me wrong. But if you showed the clip to, let's say, you sit down all Americans and show them one of these clips, they're going to go, you're a bunch of idiots, and you're doing an ad for AOC, Bernie Sanders, and people on the left. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining that much.